Well, let's get into the conversation. Morning chapters, yes, we bring it to you every Monday. But today, we're sort of having a different conversation from the usual one. We're talking academics. You must have noticed that trend on the show this morning. We talked about education earlier on, and we broke it with PC Fix. But now we're talking about grading now, how to come up with the very best grade. I know Unilag, for example, has exams coming up in the coming days, right? So this is a time that students are probably neck deep in their books, you know, reading till daybreak, as they say. But there's a book that talks about how to get first-class honors, but in a very interesting way. And we have joining us the author of that book. His name is Bishop Joseph Aini. He's the author, First Class Honors, The Biblical Road to Academic Excellence. Bishop Aini, good morning.
Good morning.
And you're welcome.
Nice to be here.
It's great to have you.
Very much.
I find your story very intriguing. You finished with the first class at the Obafemi Awolowo University in
correct.
Computer Science and Economics. It's very interesting, really, because first-class students always have that respect. Once you say, I finished with the first class, people just automatically put you in a certain category. But this didn't happen overnight for you, particularly because of the faith angle. But I want you to start from the beginning, because reading through your book, I saw your experience in your room, room 117, you know, Bafemi Awolowo. That's the Fajri Hall.
Yes.
Talk us through that first experience in school and how it cascaded to a first-class degree.
Thank you very much, Coyote. Thank you very much, Jeff. Let me start by appreciating the channel television, because this is also a first-class channel. You know, 16-time Best TV Award. That is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, if I may say. It's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you for the
compliment. I mean, this started in the space of 30 years, was it not? And 1995 to date, that's great. So coming back, I always believe that in anything that you do, you need to put in your best version. That's always has been, you know, my life. And I said it to my children, I said it to people that I talk to. Always present the best version of yourself. So coming to the university in 1989, I was religious, but I didn't know Christ. I mean, know him, having a personal connection with him. Know him as my Lord and my Savior. Obey his rules. It's not just going to church. When he said do this, doing it. I didn't have that. I wasn't in that level at that time. So I entered into the room that day, were 6 that were freshers. Then we have 2 that were stellites. You know, they were looking for a place to stay with us. And this young man wrote to me, I like to withhold the surname, just said to us that I hope nobody's born again in this room. And everybody said yes. And he clapped, and we joined him in clapping. We didn't know what it meant. But obviously, after a few days, I met him in the way I described in my book. You know, it wasn't the best way at all. And that really put a sort of struggle into my mind. You know, maybe I should practice the same thing. Maybe I should go the same way. So life is free here. You can do whatever you like. Your daddy is not going to ask you. Mommy is not going to ask you.
Sorry, for context,
yes.
You found Rotimi in a room with a lady.
Yes.
For people who have not read this book, so they understand what happened.
I found it in a romantic embrace with a lady. They were not married, you know, obviously, and I felt that was wrong. I knew it was wrong, but I thought that maybe because you're in the university now, you can do whatever you like. So day in, day out, I was thinking about how to practice that. But every time I made that attempt, something pulled me back. I later realized it's the plan of God. Because if I've had this scandal in my life, it becomes very difficult for me to come out to a television station like this and talk about Christ. People will be passing comments, but we know you, but we know your past. You know, although when you are born again, everything becomes new, but you see those things still follows you. Still follows you around. So that's the story. A117 Fajri Hall.
So you bring a dimension to academics that is quite interesting.
Yes.
How faith can help you with your academics. But what we find a lot is people sort of maybe abuse that. So you've not read all through the term or the session, as the case may be. You've not been attending classes. And then 2 weeks or 1 week, you start praying. You start saying, I need you to show me those questions and the answers. So how do you strike that balance? Some people, they're in school, but they spend most of their time in worship centers because they think that that is how to make it. So how do you strike that balance?
Kayode, I love that question. Honestly, I love that question. It's actually an abuse of faith. So you need to read your book. It's a general law. If you work hard, you will be successful. All things being equal. You need to read. I don't believe in people taking their Bible to prayer houses and they are not reading their books. And then they have exam tomorrow and they are attending night vigil today. When you have exam 9 a.m. tomorrow, you are doing all night and praying to God. You need to read. There is time for everything. There is time to read, and there is time to devote to the things of God. If you're a student, your primary reason for being at the university is because you want to be successful in whatever course you want to do. You want to come out the best. So yes, you can't do anything without God because many people do read. They read all through, and yet they still fail. Maybe they get to the exam and they develop sickness, or maybe they forget everything they have read, or a life event happened to them. Maybe a day before their father passed on, their mother died, or anything happened in the family. It just scattered them. But you see, when you trust in the Lord, it makes everything to work to your favor. It makes everything. You can't be partying and then 2 weeks to the exam and then you are running to prayer houses and praying. I don't believe in that personally. I believe that you need to read your book. It says study to show thyself approved. Not only to God, approved even everywhere you're working. Look at Chinese television. Look at the presenters. You know, everything you are doing, you have so many followers, you have so many listeners because they're getting the best from this station. There is preparation. There is, maybe you are people of faith as well. Maybe you said a word of prayer before you come here, like I did myself. So this is the way it works. If you want to go and read accounting, you have to read in the school. If you want to do computer science, you have to read. You want to do medicine, you have to read. There is no magic.
So we can simulate it in even in other parts of life.
Yes.
But let's talk about some of the things you said in your books, and quite interesting, and a bit of a blend of many things as reasons for failure. I would like you to speak to some of the things you've stated as reasons for failure, but I'm interested in this particular one.
Okay.
It's insufficient home training.
Yes.
How can insufficient home training affect ability to pass or fail?
I give you that a very simple example. If you don't respect your parents at home, you are not likely going to respect your lecturers. I'm telling you. You might not believe that. But if you don't have respect for elders, you don't know that you need to honor them and respect their age. Then something happened. I saw some videos on TikTok recently. Somebody was doing a video and the lecturer was passing and all sorts of things that happened. If you don't have respect for elderly people, now if you don't have respect for your teacher, you don't listen to them, you are not likely going to be successful. Because out of respect, you have peace. Peace of mind. Out of respect, you are going to go to them to ask for questions. Out of respect, you are going to go to them to ask for clarification. Out of respect, you are going to listen to instructions. But if you don't have home training and they just give back to you and you're just wandering the streets and you are learning all sorts of things from all kind of people and you are smoking weeds and every sort of things, then you find out that you cannot be the best. I'm not saying you cannot pass, because people can cheat and pass. But it's not likely that you cheat and become first class. It's not very likely. Not at the Obafemi Awolowo University that I went through.
Okay, we're not going to get into school this morning because I represent the first and the best university.
Thank you.
That's the University of Ibadan, but we're not getting there. On the flip side, Bishop, is what you find around. And in fact, you talked about a TikTok video. There's another TikTok video, a young lady who had put up a video, you know, talking about her experience with the government, an NYSC core member, right? And she described the president as terrible. A lot of people said that was rude. And then she got a call back from someone she described as someone in the NYSC. And the way the person spoke to her was condescending. And what you find in a lot of schools these days, let me just say in some schools, I'm hoping it's getting better, but you find that some lecturers have sort of become a god. So the respect they get from the students is not, because they say respect is reciprocal,
yes,
right?
Correct. Absolutely.
So the students are treated like rag. They're spoken to anyhow. you know, they are dressed down, they're treated like, not even children, they're treated like servants. So I want you to balance that.
Yes.
I know this is not in the purview of the student, but maybe this can also help teachers approach students in a different way. Because there are some students that failed because of the way the lecturer spoke to them, made them feel like you don't know anything, demeaned them. Bishop, speak to that.
That really touched me. You know, when I was in the university, even before I go to the university, I have a lecturer at my A-levels and secondary school, Mr. Joseph D. Eskin, a Ghanaian. You know, the way this man relates to me, we come to class with just a piece of chalk, and then we write and teach us everything. That actually motivates me. Maybe you have heard about the recitation that I did recently of the whole gospel according to St. John, you know, and that of James. It's out of this respect that I have for this man and the fact that you can learn so many things because of the way God has made it. But coming to your question, I think the teachers should also respect the students. Just as the Bible says, wife should submit to the husband should respect the wife. It's a two-way. You understand? So when you go to school and you make yourself a god, you make yourself the alpha and the omega, I don't think it's the best. I was talking about the lady. Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
Talking about the lady that she got called back and whatever. I don't know what she has said. I'm not aware of it, but I think our conversation must be constructive. That's where I put it. If you want to make any change, you want to bring any new thing, let us be constructive about the way we talk. Words are very powerful. The Bible says in Game 3, it says, the word that you speak, our tongue, is like a fire. So when you just open your mouth and you just talk, there's a way you can talk in a positive way, and there's a way you can talk in a negative way and make things very bad, and we must be careful of that. Sorry, Jay.
Bishop, in talking to the lecturers, it's important we stay on it for a bit, because perhaps some of these lecturers, maybe that's not what they are called to do. Don't you think so? Because I remember when I was in the university, one of the women that I respect till the day I die is, I think she should be a prof now, Dr. Eteng. And she did something that caught my attention.
Tell me.
We're studying Fortran. A lot of people are coming to the class, computer science and all of that, just looking at. Then she just said, how many of you understand what we're doing? How many of you can do this? Then she asked a question that literally melted everybody. How many of you are in this class who don't even understand what we're even talking about at all? And there were people that make them comfortable so that she knows where to start. When I look at people like that, I know this one is called to teach, not a hustler. So I want you to balance this for us as to people that are really called to teach versus those who, you know, this is just a way out.
And you have given a very good analogy. You see, there are some people that are nursing today, they are not called to be a nurse. And so the way they harass their patient, but there are some people, they just love to be a nurse. There are some people that just love to be a teacher. They love to teach, is their joy. They are not only thinking about the money. Money is important, but their primary purpose is to raise the next generation. So they want to give their all. It could be the case that such lecturers are frustrated. When I finished my first class at Ife, they approached me to become a lecturer there. But at that time, I was not ready. I don't think that is what I'm out to do at that time. I want to build my family and, you know, add to the society. And I can add to society by being at the university, but I just want to go into the world and see what is happening, because there has been a prophecy about my life that when I finish, I'm going to go all over the world. I'm going to talk about Christ. So I can't just limit myself at that time. And so if you are not called to be, so you are enjoying what you are doing. I can see from your faces, when we see our television, it's so lovely, it's so brilliant. We're proud of you. You enjoy it not only because of the money, but you love to do it. So anything that we want to do, we need to love to do it. It has to be a calling. You want to be a pastor, it has to be a calling. Otherwise, you'll be frustrated.
I think maybe now would be a good time to do another survey. If you are just doing teaching or lecturing for the sake of it, raise your hand. If you really love it, raise your hand as well, just as Jeffrey's lecturer did. But Bishop, you did something very remarkable recently. You recited the gospel, and you mentioned that, the gospel according to John.
Yes.
The whole book. 21 chapters.
Correct.
I don't know if it is you showing off your first class, just to prove to some of us that didn't finish your first class that I am brilliant. But can I ask you to recite a portion of it, and you can still recite it?
Of course, yes. But before I say that, I did this for my own edification.
Right.
That was the reason why I did it. And then my wife, Lady came here and said, I should record it. And then I called a brother who works around this place, and he helped us to do the recording. And he said, look, you can't keep this to yourself. Let us create channels for you to be able to show it, you know, social media. I never had until December last year. That is the fact. So everything I did was for my own edification. So John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from God, whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the truth, that all men through him might believe. It was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, that lighted every man that come into the world. I can go on and go on and go on.
Bishop, how did you code it? And this is a very important thing. Do you see it in your mind? Did you cram it? Did you code it in such a way that you are telling yourself a story so you know what is next? How did you fix it in your head?
So briefly, I will read, let's say chapter 1, for example. I will read it and make sure I understand what God is saying.
So you understand first?
Yes.
So that helps you to now regurgitate it?
Yes. So I will read it and understand what God is saying. What are the lessons for me? What are the things I can teach people? And then I take it portion by portion. The first 5, I repeat it. Then the next 5, repeat it. When I wake up in the night, I'm reciting. I'm going to the loo, I'm reciting. When I'm driving, I'm reciting until it becomes ingrained into my spirit. And then I go to the next chapter. That's what I did.
Fantastic. We can go on. And that's King James Version.
Yes, King James Version.
Which is tough. So this is not la cram la pour. This is understanding.
King James Version.
King
Yes.
James Version. So let's talk Bible now. Some people prefer King James. Some people say, oh, maybe Message Bible makes it not like they want to cast out demon. King James work better than Message. I want you to speak to that controversy.
I think it's about the power that follow the word. You know, it said the word I speak unto you, their spirit and their life. Either you are quoting King James Version or the Messenger or New International Version or American Standard Version, it doesn't matter. It is the power that God has given you that follows your word. It's not just empty words. These words, they are spirit and they are life. They are the word of Christ. So when you speak it in the right attitude, in the right mind, and you also have faith, believing that what you say is going to come to pass, it happens. I can tell you that.
Beautiful. Just quickly, can everybody make a first class?
Not so. Not so. Because, number one, then what is the basis of testing people?
Does everybody have that capacity to make a first class?
Because coming back from the UK now, I know some people that are born with certain difficulties, okay? Realizing that it may not be possible for everybody, but if you get them on their level, where it may be so, but if you put us on a standard, on the same level, not everybody. And although you don't make first class, it doesn't mean that you're going to be lower when you go out.
So some people should be at peace for not making first class.
Of course. It doesn't. It's just, for me, I want to be the best version of myself, and I realized that early, and that's why I was able to make it.
This is beautiful.
Such an inspiration. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
I love this. I think everybody should grab a copy of this first class honors, faith angle to making a first class. So we're speaking with Bishop Joseph Ayeni, who's the author of the book. Came out with the first class OAU computer science. I'm sure you
very
tough
tough
computer
science and economics.
No, I still have some little understanding, but I'm not deep into it.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
Kayode.
Thank you, Jeff.
So looking forward to the recitation of the whole Bible.
Yes, of course. The whole Bible? No, I don't have that. I don't have that plan. Maybe you will do it.
That would be nice. So we'll take a quick break now, and when we return, it's the home stretch. Stay with us.